Hello. I said last time I was gonna make another one of these uh, few days in. I decided to do it today because 1 week ago from today was uh, Paris was attacked, and it's since been confirmed by that ISIS um, did it. I remember when I first heard about it, family and I were all together eating something we do every Friday. And brother-in-law comes over, my sister, and he's said, "Oh, did you hear about what's going on in Paris?" And none of us did. And I had the TV on, just watching the local news, with the weather and what's going on here. But the local news, at least the station we were watching, didn't at all say anything. So we had no idea what was going on. And yeah, this, that wasn't good. I waited for a week to do a video like this because normally I don't do videos like this, like talk about topics like this. I usually talk about things that are going on in my life, usually pertaining to movies stuff. Since I like movies, and two, I do film work around town and that kind of thing. So it's what I like to talk about. And I don't know. It's just since I started doing these January of last year, 2014. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of what I've been doing, keeping in the subject matter usually to movies and stuff. But I thought, this is a very serious matter. I think I should say something. I know not a lot of people watch this, but somebody might. There are people that I do watch it. Friends of mine do, but other than that, I really don't have a particular audience. It's really for anybody. You can just watch these and take them for what you will, like my opinions on a certain subject of a movie or whatever. But the Paris attacks were very, very terrible, very serious. And I just thought it'd be just nice just to change it up. I just remember first hearing about it, I was stunned and shocked. I knew about the January attacks, and so I guess that's another reason why I was a little surprised. You think that after that the government would be cracking down to make sure something like that wouldn't happen again, or at least make sure that it wouldn't be as surprising. I guess the way they would be planning everything like how after this we need to put this, this, and this in place. That way, something like this doesn't happen again. And it did not even a year later. Um, and now I have a window open where it talks about it. So yeah, there's 136 people died. That is not including perpetrators that did it. 3 of them died in the hospital after all the attacks. 352 are fatally injured, and 80 of those are critical. So it's very terrible. There's 6 places that were targeted in Paris, and one was at a concert, and that's just that's terrible. It's like people went to a concert to have a good time, only to have that happen. And that's just terrible. I know that and there's videos of it on YouTube that there's a soccer game going on, and you could hear the explosion, like 2 explosions go off. The first one, it's quieter than the second one. Like people really didn't react to the first one. The second one, though, the guy that kicked the ball heard it or noticed it, and just he turned his head like he wondered what that big loud noise was. And I don't think people really knew what was going on at first. Like at at the soccer game, and other places too, not just the soccer game. But I heard the president of France and the prime minister of Germany were at the soccer game, and that because it was Germany versus France, which was a soccer game, and that terrorists wanted to kill them, but it was heavily secure, and then that explosions went off out front. I guess even after a week, it's still being pieced together. These are just stuff I heard. Just been looking up online various news sources, and just to try to get a picture of what happened. And it's very terrible. See, there's there's 8 perpetrators or so, and there's two ISIS affiliates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This thing that I'm looking at is just very. It's, there's 12 suspected accomplices, and it's not good. You know, this will probably be. Well, actually, I shouldn't say probably. It is one of those things like where you like years from now, like if somebody asks, "Where were you on November 13th, 2015?" Uh, wow, when this happened, I can remember. I'll be able to say I was at home watching the weather and news when I heard about it, and like where I was on 9/11, I was in school. There's certain things like these terrible tragedies happen that you remember where you are. People would remember where they were when JFK was assassinated. My grandparents do. Great grandmother does. Um, you know, and after all of the attacks, everyone's trying to piece it all together. Um, President of France, you know, um, he had had jets go over in Syria and Iraq where there's ISIS training facilities and other basically a bunch of ISIS facilities like training camps and this and that they have, and they like bombed 20 places, which you know, yeah, a lot of people, that I know they give a lot of crap to France, like, oh, when there's like war or something, sure they help out, but then after a while, they surrender. Um, but this is this is a sign that says, France will not take what happened last Friday lightly. They were hit hard, terribly hard, and they're hitting back. They're hitting back to the source of it in Syria and Iraq, and I think that's good because I know a lot of people are like, oh no, don't go to war and this and that, and but something like this, if you just don't do anything, just let it go, let it slide. It's essentially saying, oh, we'll let it go this time, but next time you better watch it. It's just like you're just saying like warnings with no actions. Um, you know, usually like it's like when a parent tells you when you're a kid, you do this, you're gonna get spanked or this or that, and many kids they don't believe it because maybe they're very well loved, and if they did something that in retrospect was just a little mistake, perhaps not realizing how huge the consequences or outcome could be from doing whatever it is the parents told them not to do, they do it. And then what the parents do is they spank them. Or nowadays they don't do that. They just say, "This is what's going to happen." And nowadays that stuff like that, because of political correctness, that's just can't do that to kids. You can't spank a child to correct them. And I'm not saying like this is like a spanking to ISIS or anything, but this is like uh, this is France not taking any shit from a country from a group of militant terrorists, I should say, based in these cities and these countries that they know where they are. They're not going to take it from them because, in a way, they didn't do anything when there's attacks, when the attack in January happened. There wasn't any really repercussion. But then I guess in retrospect, when you compare the two events, this was a much greater attack and a much bigger loss than the previous one. So I guess that's why I liken that to like a parent and a child. Like you tell them not to do this, the child does it, and then maybe they'll be spanked a second time, but perhaps when that child does whatever it is they did the first time again, they also could hurt themselves and just or whatever. Basically, France is not taking any of this from ISIS. They're like, you know what? Okay, this is what you want. Okay, well, we'll give you we'll give you a dose of your own medicine. We're gonna bomb you like you bombed our city. We're gonna bomb where you're at, your facilities. You're gonna that way, because I don't think really anything has happened to ISIS like this at this point in terms of anybody really challenging them in this sense. Like, they do these terrible things and it's like people have kind of like let it go. They're just doing this and that, and they're it's part of their culture. We should respect that. Okay, killing people, recruiting people, no matter what age, training them to go and kill because of their God, and whatever God says you should kill isn't a very good God, in my opinion. That just because it's like, they're doing it for their God, their religion, or at least from what I've read. Unless those claims are wrong, then I apologize if they're wrong, or at least me saying that. But they just want destruction. They don't care, because at the end of it all, like when they die, they go to have their paradise when they're gone. They'll be rewarded. That's their minds. Us, or the people of France. Well, they had it coming. Innocent people had it coming. Yet no, they didn't have it coming. And then President Obama, he was saying how America has France's, or we're supporting France. We have their back, and we're doing nothing. You know, he says there's plans in place that are putting it in effect or are in effect right now, but he's not even hinting on what those plans may be. You know, understandably, you know, his plan, you know, he doesn't. I guess there may be some things that may be secretive, I guess, so I get that, but just saying you have a plan and not even giving the tiniest detail of what, you know, that plan is, I don't know how that's gonna, what, I don't really know what that's gonna do. Just, you have a plan, okay, that's great, you have a plan. What is it? Or at least, what is the idea of the plan? What is the uh, basic uh, the basic things that will happen within your plan? Like, there's nothing been said about that, at least not at this point in time. Maybe later on will be, but I don't know. You know, I'm doing this live too, just because, you know, I don't know. I want these. I want Jared's going to be as is. You know, have an idea of what I want to say, but I don't really outline it or anything. I just have like ideas of, like, I want to talk about this, 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 and this, and then kind of go from there. Um, you know, I know a lot of people, particularly my military friends, that say they want to help France combat ISIS. They want um, to help out. They don't want to sit back because, like, you know, somewhere in America could be next. Somewhere in England could be next. Germany, yeah. And Germany is a good possibility, since, you know, the, like, prime minister, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, you know, somebody from a very important person from Germany was. I'll just say that because I cannot recall in the article and stuff I was reading from. It didn't really say all, but the president of France was there, and you know, tried to get him, and he tried to be in Germany. You know, and I was watching. I don't want to scare anybody or any international viewers that are here. Chance this is, you know, you're watching this, which is a very good possibility. But, you know, you know, Paris had a huge attack raged against them by ISIS, and I think everybody, like, other countries, should be aware that, you know, your country could be next. Our America could be next. You know, I don't know, these people who are involved in ISIS, and I don't know if I could even call. I don't really want to call them people, because the way they act is barbaric. Like, how, like, suicide bombs and the killing, and some of the details of like the concert I've read and stuff that it's very graphic, and it's just I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't really want to get into that because that's just it's terrible, but really it's they're barbarians because they act in barbaric ways, and in a way we should all just be making sure that um, our country is safe. Other countries, like our allies, are going to be fine. They're going to take the necessary caution that would be needed to uh, uh, proceed with the next step with whatever that is. I mean, Paris already, their next step is, they bombed where ISIS is. It seems like there's at war with them now because I remember hearing that the president basically said that this was a declaration of war. Um, you know, so and a teacher of mine once said that if America is asked to help a country that needs assistance with anything, like there's something that says we're not allowed to refuse them for a reason. I don't know. I don't think there was even a reason as to why that was. So in a way, if France asked for our help, we couldn't refuse. And I don't know. I'm not in the military, so it'd be very easy for me to be like, if we help them fight against ISIS, you just want war. Nobody wants war, but when things like this happen and barbaric things happen to innocent people, something has to be done about it. And the only thing that these people know is violence, and that's unfortunate, yes. But it's the only thing that will ever get through to their heads. It seems is violence, death. And it is sad, yeah. But just the way they operate, I mean, you can look this up for yourself. Don't just don't trust this guy, because you may think I'm full of shit. And if you do, please Google it or whatever search engine you use and look this stuff up on your own. But it's that simple. They understand violence. Yes, that's sad, but if that's all they seem to understand, at least for things like this, maybe somebody amongst that group somewhere, there will be somebody to reason with, like just to talk. Things have to come with agreements or this and that. And if there is, great. But if I'm not going to say that's not possible. It just doesn't seem possible to me. Maybe it is. I guess we should always be optimistic for that rational person within that group. Excuse me. But eyes are wet right now. But us saying we support France are behind them, it seems like we would, if they're going to war, and it seems like they're really going to war. Just from those statements alone, it's like America also could go to war with ISIS. Then other countries also may join in, not because we backing them up, but just because of how um, they see ISIS being dealt with. You know, doesn't seem like other countries like ISIS, except for the countries that ISIS is prominent in, like they're really heavily based in. I don't like ISIS. All the people I know seem to share the same view. They don't like ISIS either. And people think something should be done about it. I support, uh, France not taking shit from ISIS and doing what they feel is necessary, which in a way I see is justified because they were attacked, and so they're attacking back. They were even attacked twice. So, it's like they let it slide the first time, but the second time they're like, all right, enough is enough. We need to deal with this now. And say that's why I'm with France on this. And then whether we do anything with France in all this basically has yet to be determined. There are plans at effect right now, supposedly. But what those plans are, as I know, I mean, it's very late, in the early in the morning of Friday. But as of now, I have yet to hear any details of what these plans are. It's just this stuff needs to stop. But I mean, what can you do? Violence seems to be everywhere, But this kind of violence is, it's just, in a way, it could be, an exceptional. It's an exceptional travesty of violence. Recruiting young people and then training them to kill, and then at the end of it, at the end of it all, you're gonna kill yourself while taking others with you. It's I remember hearing when the first seeing it on TV, the gunfire that was going on, like just like a word like, oh, there must be killing people in there. It's just terrible. And I just, I, like everybody else, wants this to stop. We all want this to end. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't like how this would have to end. These people won't, they won't be reasoned with. And that's why I basically said that the one person being there to be the voice of reason most likely isn't there. And if he is there, I'm sure he's basically told to shut up and do this, keep busy, shut up. And maybe he'll be killed because he wants to reason with everyone. But, it's unfortunately, yeah. Like, do people like war? No. But in a situation like this, it seems like that's an answer. It's an answer that's being seriously thought over. With France, it seems like it's. I apologize again. It seems like for France, it's a no-brainer. They attack us, we're attacking them. It was a declaration of war. What you did, so and that's what you want. You have it. And another reason why I would say like America could get into this is because like we have a huge military. We have a like the best military in the world, and we and if anyone could help France, we could. Not saying England or Germany couldn't, or any other of our other allies, but we have a big military. And I know people are like, America doesn't need to be the world police. America doesn't even want to be the world police. But somebody in this world has to maintain order. The UN is clearly doing dick with all this. Like, we're going to reason with them. Oh, how's that worked out? You're going to reason with the countries this has all happened in? Like, or at least for the countries where this is all based in? I doubt that will even work. And even if it could work, it would probably take years, because I'm sure what we want obviously is to stop, and they probably don't want to stop. I'm sure they don't want to stop, actually, and they just want to keep killing because that's what they know and that's what they like to do. It's sick and it's vile, but it's an unfortunate truth. It's an unfortunate truth that a lot of people don't want to hear, but you kind of have to. Anyway, I would think that's all I have to say. I'm sorry this isn't very more thought out, but these, one of the purposes of this series, actually, series of videos, is just kind of like somewhat spur of the moment. Obviously playing out what I'm gonna say in my head, because I don't want to just constantly write stuff down, just like looking at a piece of paper or something. I did look up some stuff on the computer, but and then I was like, I basically said all I wanted to say. And you don't have to agree with me at all, and that's fine. But I just wanted to throw some stuff out there, what I thought of this, and just how terrible this whole situation has been, and is. And that's it. So, until next time, see you all later. Peace.